Have you noticed it? How fast it happens. 1 month your dad's lifting groceries from the car, walking down the driveway with ease. Then a few weeks later, he's using the wall for balance, struggling to get off the couch, muscles that once held him tall, now slipping away quietly, almost without a sound. And the worst part? He's still eating, still walking a little, still seems okay. But something's not right. You can feel in your gut, even if no one's saying it out loud. Muscle just fading, strength disappearing, and with it their independence, their confidence, their dignity. You might chalk it up to old age. Maybe even your doctor tells you, it's normal, it happens. But deep down, something's missing. And here's the truth. There is something missing. And it's not just movement or diet or age. It's something simple, often ignored, overlooked. And if it's not taken before bed, night after night, the body keeps breaking down, little by little, even while your loved one sleeps. It's not a gimmick. It's not some magic pill. It's a vital piece of the puzzle that most people never talk about. And tonight, I want to tell you exactly what it is. Because this one overlooked vitamin, when taken at the right time, can help slow down the muscle loss that robs so many seniors of their strength. And I don't want you or anyone you care about to find out too late. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know what that vitamin is, you'll understand why it works when to take it, and how to make it part of a simple nighttime routine that could change everything. I'm not just talking about living longer. I'm talking about living stronger. So, if you're someone who wants to help your aging parents, grandparents, or even yourself stay upright, stay proud, and stay independent for as long as life allows, then this is for you. Comment, I care, if you're ready to fight for your loved one's strength. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more insights like this from Elderly Care, because knowledge is love, and love is what keeps us showing up day after day. Now let's get into it. Now let me tell you about George. George is 72, a quiet man with a gentle smile and a daily habit. Every morning, he's up at 6, walking the same path through his neighborhood. It's not a power walk, just a peaceful, steady pace. It keeps his mind clear, his heart beating strong. That walk, it's been part of his routine for over a decade. But a few weeks ago, something changed. He was halfway down the street when his legs started to shake. Not a little wobble. His knees buckled so suddenly, he had to grab a mailbox to steady himself. Just like that, he couldn't trust his own body. His daughter thought maybe he was just tired. Maybe he hadn't had enough water, or his blood sugar dipped. But it wasn't any of that. You see, what happened to George wasn't a fluke. It wasn't dehydration, and it wasn't just age. It was sarcopenia. That's the medical word, but here's what it really means. His muscles were slowly vanishing. And here's the scary part. Sarcopenia doesn't give you warning signs. It doesn't shout. It creeps in quiet and slow. And by the time you really notice it, it's already taken a big piece of your strength. And once that strength starts to go, so does balance. So does mobility. So does the freedom to live the life you've always lived. Now here's what most people get wrong. They think muscle loss is just part of growing old. I get it. We've all heard it. But what if I told you that's only half the story? Yes, aging plays a role. But the real accelerators, the ones no one talks about, they're nutritional gaps, especially one that most people completely overlook when the sun goes down. See, as you age, your body starts demanding more, just to maintain what it has. And if it doesn't get it, it starts letting go, slowly, relentlessly. And that's what happened to George. He was still walking, still eating okay, but his body was starving for the right fuel, especially at night, when the muscles do most of their healing and rebuilding. Most people think that once the day's done, so is the need for nutrition. But that's a mistake, a big one, because the body doesn't stop working at night. It just shifts. And if it doesn't have the right tools while you sleep, that's when the breakdown happens. So here's the advice. Start with small protein-rich snacks during the day. Greek yogurt, eggs, a handful of nuts. Keep the movement going, even if it's just light stretching or short walks. But above all, don't ignore what they take before bed, because that final dose of the right nutrient at night can make all the difference between waking up strong or waking up weaker than yesterday. And that's what this video is all about. Because now, we're going to talk about something that almost no one's paying attention to. A single vitamin. One that acts like a muscle-preserving switch when the lights go out. So stay with me, because what I'm about to share might be the most important thing you'll hear today. Now let's talk about Susan. Her mom, 78 years old, sharp as ever in her mind. But her body? That's where things started to falter. It began with the falls. Not during walks, not out in the yard, but in the middle of the night. Susan would hear a loud thud from the bedroom. Her mom, disoriented, lying on the floor, sometimes bruised, sometimes shaken, always embarrassed. At first, they thought it was just poor balance, maybe a medication side effect. They even installed a bed rail. But the falls kept happening. Finally, a routine blood test told them something they hadn't expected. Her mom's vitamin D levels were shockingly low. Now here's the strange part. Susan lives in a sunny state. Her mom sits by the window, spends time on the porch, eats a balanced diet. She wasn't locked indoors. So how could this happen? Well, this is where the story hits home for so many families. See, as we age, our skin becomes less efficient at converting sunlight into vitamin D. Even if we spend time outside, the body simply doesn't produce it the way it used to. And even when we do get some in our diet, our aging kidneys, responsible for converting vitamin D into its active form, don't work quite as effectively either. So despite appearances, older adults are often running dangerously low on a nutrient that's absolutely vital for strength, balance, and yes, preventing those middle-of-the-night falls. Because vitamin D isn't just about bones. It plays a direct role in muscle function. It helps your body absorb calcium. It supports protein synthesis. And without it, your muscles are fighting an uphill battle just to hold you upright. Now here's where it gets really important. Most people think, okay, I'll give my mom a vitamin D pill in the morning and we're good. But here's what most don't realize. Your body doesn't need vitamin D in the morning. It needs it while you sleep. That's when bones rebuild. That's when muscles do their deepest repair. That's when your body goes into healing mode. So when Susan started giving her mom vitamin D3 at night, right before bed, along with a small glass of water and a little protein snack, the falls stopped. No more thuds, no more bruises, just steadier legs in the morning, a calmer heart at night. Now, I want to be clear, vitamin D alone didn't fix everything, but turned the tide. It gave her body what it was missing, and it reminded Susan of something we all need to remember. Sometimes the smallest changes at the quietest times of day can make the biggest difference. And when it comes to muscle loss, timing matters. Taking vitamin D3 before bed gives the body what it needs, right when it's doing its most important behind-the-scenes work. And when it's paired with something else, something that works hand in hand with it, the results can be even more powerful. Because vitamin D doesn't work alone. There's another key nutrient, one that most people forget, but without it, that nighttime repair, it stays incomplete. Let me tell you about an email we got not too long ago. It was from a woman named Marlene. Her message was simple, but it stopped me in my tracks. She wrote, "My dad's been waking up with horrible leg cramps for years. Some nights he'd scream out loud, and I'd rush into his room thinking he'd fallen. Doctors ran tests. We tried hydration, banana smoothies, new shoes. Nothing worked. But one night we tried something new. Magnesium, just a small tablet right before bed. And you know what? The cramps stopped, like flipping a switch." Now, if you've ever seen someone you love cry out in pain in the middle of the night, you know that feeling. The helplessness, the fear, the exhaustion on their face the next morning, like their body fought a battle while they slept. But Marlene's story? It's not rare. Magnesium, this quiet, often overlooked mineral, is like a whisper to the muscles. It calms them, supports them, tells them, "You're safe now, you can rest." It plays a critical role in over 300 processes in the body, but for our aging loved ones, two stand out. First, it supports nerve and muscle function, meaning it keeps muscles from misfiring, twitching, cramping, or tightening up when they're supposed to be relaxing. Second, it promotes deep, restorative sleep, the kind where the body actually heals. Not just dozing, not just getting through the night. I'm talking about the kind of sleep that rebuilds what the day took away. Now here's the thing. Most people think of magnesium as a relaxation supplement. Good for stress, good for winding down, but they miss the real magic. Magnesium works with vitamin D. They're partners in repair. Without enough magnesium, vitamin D can't be properly metabolized. And without vitamin D, magnesium's muscle benefits are muted. But when you pair the two, especially in the evening, you unlock a powerful recovery window. The trick is using the right form. Not all magnesium is created equal. Some types can upset the stomach or cause, well, urgent bathroom trips. But magnesium glycinate? That's the gentle kind, easily absorbed, soothing, perfect for bedtime. A small dose, maybe 200 milligrams to start, taken with your vitamin D3, can help the body enter a deeper sleep, prevent those painful spasms, and support overnight muscle maintenance. It's a small change, but the next morning, when your loved one stands up without wobbling, when they tell you, "I actually slept through the night," you'll know. You'll know it mattered. But as helpful as these nutrients are, vitamin D, magnesium, protein, there's one more thing we haven't talked about. And if this next factor isn't under control, all the vitamins in the world might not be enough. Because there's a quiet enemy working behind the scenes in many older adults. And it's not what you expect. It's not what you can see. But it's there. Thomas's daughter, Angela, had always been close to her dad. He was a strong man, not just in body, but in spirit. Raised 3 kids, built his own tool shed, still mowed the lawn into his 70s. But lately something was off. He wasn't injured. He hadn't been sick. Yet he moved like everything hurt. His knees were swollen. His hands were stiff. And after dinner, he always seemed worse. More sluggish. More sore. At first, Angela thought it was just a heavy meal. Maybe too much salt. Or maybe arthritis settling in. But one day, the rheumatologist gave it a name: chronic inflammation. Not the kind that flares up from an injury. Not the kind that goes away with an ice pack. This was quiet, constant, and deep. A slow-burning fire inside his body, wearing him down day by day. And here's the part most people don't know. Inflammation isn't just about joints. It eats away at muscle tissue. It blocks the very signals your body uses to build and repair. You could be giving your loved one all the right nutrients, vitamin D, magnesium, even protein. But if inflammation is raging underneath, it's like pouring water into a cracked cup. It just leaks away. See, when inflammation is high, the body shifts gears. It stops building. It starts breaking down. It treats muscle as a threat, not a priority. And guess when this process is most active? At night. While you sleep, your immune system is busy. If it's inflamed, it hijacks the recovery process meant for muscle repair. Instead of rebuilding, your body spends that time managing the chaos. And it doesn't just come from illness. Inflammation sneaks in through diet. Sugary snacks, processed foods, heavy dinners loaded with seed oils. It creeps in through stress, loneliness, grief, unspoken fear. It lives in the gut, in the blood, even in our thoughts. That's why Angela's dad felt worse after dinner. His meals were triggering the very thing that was tearing down his strength. But there's hope, and it doesn't have to be complicated. Adding a natural anti-inflammatory before bed, like a high-quality omega-3 supplement or a little turmeric mixed with warm almond milk, can calm that fire. It's not about curing everything overnight. It's about creating the right conditions so healing can happen. The body is wise. It wants to recover, but it needs the noise to die down first. And once the inflammation is under control, even just a little, those nighttime nutrients we talked about earlier, they start working again. The muscles rebuild, the soreness fades, the strength returns little by little. And all of a sudden, your loved ones start standing taller again. Moving easier, feeling less pain. It's a quiet victory, but one that means everything. Still, there's one more piece to this puzzle. One last myth that needs to be broken wide open. Because even with the right vitamins, even with inflammation in check, most people still get this part wrong. And that mistake, it's costing our seniors the one thing they need most to fight muscle loss. Diane meant well. She really did. Her dad, Richard, was 81. A proud man. Never asked for much. But over the past few months, she noticed something that scared her. His shirts hung looser. His arms looked thinner. He didn't get out of his recliner quite as fast. His voice even sounded smaller, somehow. Diane tried everything. Healthier meals during the day, walks around the block, less processed food, more vitamins. But she also made one decision, thinking it would help his sleep. She stopped giving him anything to eat after dinner. No snacks, no desserts, no bedtime tea with milk. Just a clean break after supper. Because, like many of us, she'd heard it all her life. Eating late is bad for you. And maybe for younger folks with slower metabolisms or busy lives, that's true. But for seniors? For aging bodies in survival mode, fighting off muscle loss every night? That advice can be devastating. Here's why. When we sleep, our bodies don't just rest. They rebuild. And for older adults, that rebuilding process is desperate. It's trying to hold on to every ounce of muscle it can. But if there's no fuel in the system, no nutrients to work with, the body starts pulling from itself. It eats its own muscle to stay balanced. Now, think about that for a second. Your dad or your grandmother or your elderly neighbor, they might be losing muscle while they sleep, not because of disease or neglect, but because they went to bed on an empty stomach. That's where slow-digesting protein comes in. Something like casein, found in Greek yogurt or a simple nighttime shake, digests slowly, releasing a steady stream of amino acids into the bloodstream over several hours. It's like giving the body a toolkit that lasts all night long. Instead of breaking down, the body maintains. It strengthens. It holds a line. And when you combine that with a bedtime dose of vitamin D and magnesium, that's when the real magic happens. It becomes a healing ritual, one that supports bone health, muscle maintenance, and deep, restorative sleep. So instead of waking up feeling stiff and drained, your loved one wakes up just a little stronger, a little steadier, a little more like themselves. And here's the beautiful part. It doesn't have to be complicated. Have a cup of Greek yogurt, a scoop of low-sugar casein protein in warm almond milk, even just a slice of cheese, if that's what they like. It's not about packing in calories. It's about sending a message to the body. You're not alone. I've got your back tonight. Let's rebuild. So no, eating at night isn't bad. Not when you're 70, 80, 90 years old and trying to hold on to what matters most. It's not indulgence. It's care. And in the quiet of the evening, when everything slows down and the world grows still, that simple act of nourishment might just be the most powerful gift you can give. Watching someone you love shrink, literally, right in front of your eyes, it does something to you. It's not just physical, it's emotional. You see their shirts sag a little more. You notice they grip the rail tighter than they used to. They hesitate before stepping into the shower or getting out of the car. And no one talks about how that feels. That ache in your chest, that quiet panic that creeps in when you realize the strong hands that once held you steady now need your support. And you want to help. You want to fix it, but you don't know where to begin. You tell yourself it's just aging. But deep down, a voice keeps asking, is there something more I could be doing? And here's the answer. Yes. Yes, there is. Because this isn't just a slow fade into fragility. This is biology, chemistry, nutrition, and timing. And you, with the right knowledge, can change the story. This isn't about fear. This is about love. Love that says, I see what's happening, and I refuse to sit by and watch it get worse. Love that doesn't need grand gestures, just small, consistent ones. A vitamin at the right time. A late-night snack that means something. A question asked at the doctor's office that no one thought to bring up before. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be present. So here's what I want you to do tonight. Go check the supplement cabinet. Is there vitamin D3? Magnesium glycinate? Is there something soft, protein-rich, ready to offer comfort and support before bed? If not, this is your moment. Because every night your loved one goes to sleep without those things, they're losing more than rest. They're losing strength. And strength is freedom. But the beautiful truth? That loss isn't inevitable. It's not written in stone. You can help someone you love feel stronger. Not just in their arms or legs, but in their confidence, in their sense of self, in the way they wake up and greet the morning. And sometimes that starts with a quiet conversation at the kitchen table. Sometimes it starts with a glass of warm milk. Sometimes it starts with you. And that gives me hope. Tonight, I want you to remember this. Vitamin D Magnesium and a little protein before bed. That's it. 3 simple things. But together, they create a powerful defense against the slow, quiet muscle loss we've been told is just part of getting older. It's not just about preventing falls or helping someone out of a chair. It's about giving our loved ones the strength to keep living on their terms, to keep walking through their home with confidence, to hold on to their independence just a little longer, to feel like themselves again. Because when you give the body what it needs, when you time it right, it doesn't just survive the night. It rebuilds. So I want to hear from you. Have you noticed muscle loss or fatigue in someone close to you? What small changes have made a difference? Share your story in the comments below. I read everyone. And your story might be the one that helps someone else finally connect the dots. And if this video brought you clarity, if it gave you a moment of understanding or a plan you can put into action tonight, then please consider subscribing to Elderly Care. This channel is here for families who care, who want to do better, who want more than just vague advice and one-size-fits-all solutions. You deserve real answers, clear steps, and encouragement that feels like it's coming from someone who's walked this road too. So thank you. Thank you for your time, your heart, and your willingness to show up for them. Keep caring, keep learning, and above all, keep showing love in the quiet, ordinary ways that make all the difference. I'll see you again soon. Until then, stay strong, stay connected,